Imagine trying to understand how your friends are connected on social media using Excel sheet. This cannot work. Why? Because on Google Sheet we have columns and rows. Actually, Google Sheet is a column-based database, all right? And in this kind of structure, we cannot display the complex connection or relationship between different objects, the social media users, all right? That's why we use graph databases. Graph databases are a different type of database that can store the data with the network approach, which means that we can display the relationship between different objects in this database. Like, for example, what you see right here. These are two different inputs from transcripts I analyzed from my conversations, and for each one we created different objects. So we have the tools, we have a person, we have the organization, we have the project, and all of those are related to each other. So if I zoom in, I can see also the relationships. Like Dimitris is working for this organization. He's going to use Airtable to build an appointment management system. And also he has to include an email automation. These kind of relationships can be displayed in a graph database. While we could not display this in a column-based database. The grateful thing is that we don't need to have predefined schema. For every different input we have, we just create a different group of dots that are related with each other. These dots are nodes, tools, and edges, and we just build the connection. Real cases where we're using graph databases are social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, on e-commerce like Amazon or Netflix, in banking we're used a lot, and also when we want to build a digital twin, because a digital twin is an object that it has multiple and complex relationships with other objects in our organization. And we actually want to build this clone of relationships of these objects. And ideally, we want to include all of this information. The most information we can include, the more accurate is this clone for the original object. The reason we cannot use traditional databases, the column-based like Airtable, for example, for this approach is that we have to use a predefined schema, and all of these connections cannot be displayed in the rows with records. Definitely, it doesn't work. The key principle for those multiple relationships is to think with flexibility. That one person maybe has a specific role, and his role may has a couple of responsibilities. And all of these things, the responsibilities, the role, and specifically the person, are related with each other. So we have to completely cancel the way of thinking with traditional column-based database. Now, what is important when we are building a database like this one is the data input. The way we input our data, the more knowledgeable is our database. What we see here is a knowledge graph. This knowledge graph can be used from an AI, and these dots are actually accessible from the AI, and he can give us responses in our questions. So, for example, I used Claude to analyze these transcripts, and then I used the Neo4j MCP server to post and create those edges and nodes onto my database. And now I can go and ask my Claude, my AI, a specific question about what we discussed in this conversation, and also what this client is looking from me. And if I include also other conversations from other clients and from that specific client in one place, Claude will be able to find the exact place with information. He can track everything. He can give me a response. Would that response be accurate? Not sure. And the thing is that with those nodes, we are missing the timeline information. So one core tip for creating graph databases is to take care for the timeline information. This can be a node, yes, definitely, but a node, it can be lost. I do prefer to give it as a node inside the graph database as an information. That was it for the graph databases. A quick intro and a quick explanation for this complex thing. I know it's not the easiest thing to understand and remember, definitely, but in the next videos, we're going to talk more about it and we'll see how we can start using it and improve them. Thanks.